Hey, what's going on, everybody? Happy Monday. Another wonderful day to be a part of life. All right. I just make them up. That's it. I just make them up. I don't have any scripts. Just make it up. So I hope everybody's having a wonderful day. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. And for all you moms out there, I hope you had a wonderful Mother's Day. So today, another vlog for my education journey. We just finished up week one. I learned quite a bit, struggled with a little bit, but that's all a part of learning. And today, I'm going to go over what we've got planned for this week. And I want to do a little talk with this article that we have. So let me cue things up and let's switch over and share my screen. Okay, so what we're looking at here, this is Module 2 for Marketing 355, Social Media Marketing Strategies. And for this week, we are going to be doing in Module 2, you will elevate the effectiveness of a social media site's marketing implications. I want to talk about that phrase or that term, marketing implications. So it says, from your own personal use, the content in Module 2 will help you develop a deeper understanding of why companies use social media marketing. This will allow you to analyze if a current social media marketing campaign is working for a business and how it can be modified if it is not working. You will learn the implications of utilizing the right social media marketing strategy in order to maximize efforts for a business, and you will examine the strategic planning process for developing a social media marketing plan. That's a lot. So in this module, we are going to break it down. We've got the social media as part of a larger marketing strategy. We have the module overview, and this week I will be doing a blog, the role of social media. And then also this week due is the final project milestone 1 marketing strategies. So let me explain a little bit on how that works. We have a big project. Look at it like a book report that you would do when you were in grade school. The way the school breaks it down is we nibble away at this big project throughout the 8 weeks. For this week, the first part of that little niblet is due. And they're pretty lengthy. I usually spend a good day and a half chiseling away at it between reading material, understanding the perspectives and angle that I want to take, and researching other content in order to fully understand what I need to show the teacher, or excuse me, the professor. I know. So anyway, let's go back over here. So this milestone is going to be taking a look at the SNHU pet supply case study. The milestone 1 guideline is a rubric. It's here as well down here. And then we have the final project guideline rubric. So that's the big chunks today. Now, I had an announcement this morning from my marketing 9 hours ago. It was released. And in the announcement, it reads, in Module 2, you will evaluate the effectiveness of a social media marketing site's marketing implications from your personal use. You will examine how social media marketing is used in businesses and analyze SNHU's Pet Supply's current social media position. You will identify the different platforms used by SNHU's Pet Supply and how social media sites can be beneficial for a company. I have the readings and the perspectives on social media marketing, topics 24 and 25. And I also have the blog post and then the final project. So she attached a helpful reading to help you work in the assignment, which is understanding the role of social media marketing. I did read that. It was a great article. I can pull it up here so you can get a look at it. It looks like the website is The Balance Small Business, and the person that wrote this particular article is Laura Lake, Understanding the Role of Social Media Marketing. One thing I want to address with these articles, for one, this article is written in 2021, yet some of the material within this week's reading is from 2016. So keep that in mind. A lot has changed in a year. This was February. A lot has changed in a year of social media. The overall I want to say basket of social media. If social media was a basket, that basket is made. You have your baseline of social media, which you're going to have some type of platform that you have an account with where you post content. That's the basket. What may change is the features of the basket. They may add the ability to do video, longer videos, shorter videos. They may add some analytics in the background if you want to convert your account over into a business account so that you could get those stats. But for the most part, the social media basket is built. You will have new social media tools coming about, and they may be used differently, but the basket is built. So looking at this, there's some great tips that they give. The first part here, companies that use social media. This article takes the perspective and the angle that of bigger companies. So they mention here Absolute Vodka, BMW, and Dunkin' Donuts, all now known as Dunkin', and how those companies integrate social media into their marketing strategy. Now, down here, she talks about the benefits of social media marketing. It's repetitive. You know the benefits. You can use social media to define your brand identity and the products or services that you offer. Social media allows you to create relationships with people who might not otherwise know about your products and services or what your company represents. Social media can make you real to customers. If you want people to follow you, don't just talk about the latest product news, but share your personality with them. You can use social media to associate yourself with peers that may be serving the same target market, and social media makes it easy to communicate and provide the interaction that consumers look for. Basic, again, that's the basket. It's pretty much the same thing across the board. How to use social media for your marketing. So here she brings these tips. You cannot just depend on social media. You must integrate it with other vehicles of marketing. While social media will create awareness, it won't usually help you sell $1 million worth of product right out of the gate. That's not to say that it can't one day once you've built up your social media stardom, but it probably won't happen tomorrow. Number 2, you be yourself and reflect your personality. There are no written right or wrong rules when it comes to social media. Depends. Only you can determine what will work for you and fits your brand. Be consistent. Social media requires ongoing engagement. If you don't plan on being consistent, don't do it at all. I wish I'm going to get this glitching fixed. A great point about consistency that I want to touch on. Most people who are using social media, like myself, are working full-time jobs. So you've got to balance social media and use tools like Hootsuite or Wolfie is another one that I have gotten. I have the programs, the apps, have not been consistent with using them. And that is on my list to do to get better at programming and setting up my social media content so that it posts daily. I watched a video yesterday with Gary Vee being interviewed by, I want to say, a CNN correspondent. And in the video, Gary makes the statement that he does social media 24/7, 365. And that's what gives him the advantage. He doesn't wake up in the morning and do a little video, do a little this, and then he goes to a 9 to 5 job and then he comes back home, because he understands if he wants to be the top dog on this social media platform and then in this landscape, if he wants to be the biggest tree, the brightest flower, and the biggest basket, he's got to be on it every single day. I use the analogies to help bring visuals and understanding to what I'm talking about. Why I say that is because big companies have big budgets. Small companies have small budgets or medium-sized budgets. Therefore, leveraging social media to build an audience can be a challenge if you are a one-man band or if you are transitioning and you're working your income is coming from another source of employment being a 9 to 5. So the risk of a person is who wants to grow their social media network, the risk is giving up time in your 9 to 5 to cash in on time in your social media endeavor. And that is a balance. Only you, the audience, can make that decision. The other article I liked is Fix Your Social Media Strategy by Taking It Back to Basics. And this article written in 2016, July 25th, 2016. And I want to go over this real quick. Hold on just a second. I want to get that. Let me adjust my microphone here for me, please. I don't feel like I'm being heard. And maybe it's just because I don't hear myself. Okay, so Fix Your Social Media Strategy by Taking It Back to Basics. This was written July 25th, 2016 by Keith A. Quisenberry. I like the picture. A very thought-provoking picture. I think that's probably why I like the article. This was published, this was published in the Harvard Business Review, and obviously I only have one free article left, but I got the article through my school, so obviously I'm gonna have to subscribe someday. But let's just go over this article. Let's read through this because there's a lot of thought-provoking things that I want to touch on for what I like to call the small mom and pop shops who are selling on social media, your eBays, your Amazons, and you're not using traditional media. 9 times out of 10, if your company is a small to mid-size business, meaning I would say your employees are 100 or less. Let's just give that number. you're doing your social media using your family and friends and maybe that millennial or that Gen Zer that's coming in to the workforce and knows computers. Your budget is small. Therefore, your social media strategy is going to match your budget. So, as I read these articles, keep that in mind. If I'm not speaking to the PepsiCos of the world, I'm not speaking to the Nissans of the world, or even the Best Buys of the world. I'm speaking to those who are small mom and pops, and they're leveraging social media because it's accessible. That's the purpose of social media. This article is going to talk about combining traditional marketing with social media marketing. And in today's society, or today's marketing landscape, arena, what have you, most small businesses are using social media and social media only. And as soon as marketers get that through their minds, that's when we will figure out a better way to do this. All right. So a recent CMO survey indicates that marketers plan to double their spending on social media in the next 5 years. That has been done. There are statistics to show that. Yet IBM C-Suite study reports that nearly half of CMOs believe that they are not prepared to manage the challenges of social media. Now, a CMO is a communications marketing officer. Now they're called content marketing officers, chief marketing officers. Any of those can be interchanged with CMO. This disparity highlights an important and potentially costly problem. Marketers continue to increase social media spending, yet many are still uncertain about the management, strategies, and integration. Management, strategies, and integration. As a small business, that is what you're challenged with. Managing your social media, creating a strategy for your social media, and then integrating that social media in your daily operations. Meaning every day you have an employee on social media doing something, a post, a video, a live chat, a microblog on Twitter, a blog post. You're creating some type of content and you have it posted every single day. A quick Google search returns 140 million results for social media marketing tips, but no matter how many headlines promise it, there really is no one size fits all social media strategy. You get that? There is no one size fits all. You have to build your strategy based on your resources, meaning your employee resources, your financial resources, your content resources. All of that is to be a part of the big picture. Some articles indicate that stories are an effective marketing and advertising tool, and they're still talking about that. But what story will you tell? How will you integrate it with your traditional efforts? Now, again, traditional efforts. If you are a small business, 9 times out of 10, let's just take a local retail gas station. Most of those guys are not on social media. 9 times out of 10, you're not going to see them on social media. Why is that? Because they're servicing the local community. So their concept of being on social media is irrelevant. You're going to come in, you're going to buy your gas, you're going to buy yourself a soft drink, and you're going to buy some gum, and you're out the door. You're going to visit it every day, or you're going to sell cigarettes. People come in every day to buy those. So those businesses are 9 times out of 10 are not going to be on social media. What will be on social media is the next door business, an Ace Hardware, that is a franchise, and they want to compete with the Home Depot down the street or the Lowe's down the street, because that's where most of the traffic is going. And they want their local community to know they're in the local community. They're available to find the same things, excuse me, the same things that are available at those other giant big box retailers. They want the people to come over to them. So the strategy that they would build is a little different. They're not going to have traditional media, which Home Depot and Lowe's can make a commercial and blast it out there. Now, as a I would say a franchise, most Ace Hardwares are a franchised entity. They're not owned, or they're using the Ace Hardware name, yet it is a mom pop type establishment. So Ace will have advertisement on a national level, yet what about the local level? So on the local level, that's where social media can benefit the local Ace Hardware store. And they have to get savvy at understanding how to use Facebook, which has a great group of marketing tools to help. They have to get savvy on how to use Twitter to do microblogging. They have to be savvy about how to make a blog, a WordPress blog, a Blogger blog, a Tumblr blog, something like that, and use those tools to raise awareness that we're in your local community. We can give you what you need. We are local business. Everybody's the buzzwords, local business, support your local business, because that local business brings money into the economy. That local business provides jobs for local people, so forth, so on. So a social media strategy is going to look a lot different for that local business who is a franchise of a more national business, as opposed to a national business in a local market. Hopefully I didn't just chop that salad up so thin you can't comprehend, because sometimes I do that. All right, so other articles advise using social media networks such as Pinterest. But what will your brand post on Pinterest? Is your target audience even on Pinterest? Still more articles offer a glimpse into other brands' social media strategies. But what worked for Comcast or Best Buy or Universal Studios probably will not work for a bank, tech startup, or retail company. What marketers need is a process that leads to individual solutions. They must use fundamental marketing concepts and modify them for this new two-way, consumer-empowered medium of social media. Here's a framework for doing that adapted from my book, Social Media Strategy. Now, I have not read his book. I was not even aware he wrote this book. I have a book that I showed last week about social media strategy, but he's not the author. So before I dig into that real quick, what I want to address from that last two paragraphs is they mention big box retail, banks, tech startups. Small entrepreneurs who are on Facebook attempting to gather around them customers that they can ship product to. They're not going to have the same budget, and they're not going to use the same strategy. And to use these examples really is, you can use them as a guidepost, but I wouldn't use them to create the strategy. What I mean by that is, if you're retail, they're retail. If you want to compete, or you really want to position yourself against those big box retailers I'm gathering my thoughts. You want to position yourself by being an accessory. Attempting to be the big box retailer is counterproductive with a small budget. So be the accessory. In other words, first, understand what those big box retailers are offering and their reach, and find out how you can be the accessory to the consumer. In other words, oh, they don't have it, but I do. They won't get it, but I will. That's the accessory. That's the positioning. That's the strategy. So traditional media advertising commercials are out of the question for small businesses. The budget's just not there. So your commercial will be your video that you create and throw on YouTube. And of course, you will purchase ads or purchase click, or what's the word? You will basically buy a package from Google or Facebook to have your ads shown to your target audience. That's what I wanted to say. All right. He says here, looking back, okay, so define the status quo. So his first step, he says, the first step isn't about social media at all. Identify your business objectives and target market. The same thing everybody says. Find the objectives and the target market. Also consider your industry, the recent performance of the brand, and the current traditional marketing promotions for the product and its competitors. A startup of a new product needs to generate awareness, while an older product may need to be revived. Some brands need a new image, as when Starbucks' reputation fell to an all-time low, and Howard Schultz returned to restore the consumer confidence in the brand. And that's go on. But I want to touch on this real quick. This part right here where it says a startup or new product needs to generate awareness. If you're a small business and you just got your business started, say a year ago, you're in that bucket. You're in the generate awareness bucket. That's where you want to focus your attention. So your strategy is really not about necessarily growing sales. Your strategy is raising awareness. So my sister always says, a closed mouth doesn't get fed. Another cliche, early bird gets the worm. Another cliche, the loudest squeaky wheel gets the attention. That's what raising awareness does. It gets you attention, it gets you fed, and it gets eyeballs on you. So the more content you create and post, the bigger your awareness bubble will get. Simple task. And that, I believe, is where most businesses skip. Most businesses start at they have the impression I'm an older product, may be revived, or I need to grow my sales. And you're attempting to grow sales without growing awareness. And so sales will spike like this because your friends and family, and then they told somebody, and then all of a sudden it tapers off, and then it starts to just go down. And the reason for that is no awareness plan was created. And now, being in social media, you can build your own awareness plan. You can build your own awareness plan. So I got to wrap this up here. You want to listen to your target audience. How do you listen? What are they posting? What comments are you getting? Good, bad, or indifferent? If you are getting negative comments, you do not have to respond to the negative comments, because 9 times out of 10, I would bet that negative comments are coming from your competition. Somebody that works for them, or somebody that roots for them, fan, what have you. It's the competition. Embrace it and move on. But listening to your audience is key, and Create social media content that drives engagement is key. What does that look like? Engagement. Dogs and pets are great for driving engagement because everybody loves a little fuzzy animal. So if you've got a mascot, if you've got a dog that you take to the office, if you've got a cat laying around at the store, take a picture of them. Take a picture of your mascot. You got a little mouse running around. Before you kill it, take a picture. People might not come and visit you, though. Just saying. Link marketing goals to social media KPIs. Again, we're talking about big companies. When you're using things like KPIs, key performance indicators, those are terms used for your Best Buys of the world, your Lowe's, your Home Depots, your Pepsis, your Cokes. Those companies are using those big words. Small businesses, you're not going to be concerned about necessarily a KPI in that aspect. Your main focus right now is raising awareness and getting people to recognize that you can be an accessory to all these other companies. So those were the big takeaways that this article presented. Keep in mind, this article was written in 2016. Although it still has relevance, many things have shifted and changed. The biggest takeaway from the fixing your social media strategy, I'm speaking to the small business owner. Making yourself known is key. That's the first step. Making yourself known is key. Raising the awareness bar of who knows who you are. If you're not going to service a national, if you're not shipping products all over the United States, I would just center myself on focusing on the community that I service. Facebook has a great tool for identifying your market closest to you. From there, Instagram, they're owned by the same company. From there, you can bounce into Twitter and Pinterest and those other ones, and YouTube. I would start, if I was a small mom pop shop retailer, I would learn as much as I could about Facebook to understand how I could leverage Facebook marketing tools and analytics to raise awareness about my company and identify the budget. With the other social media platforms that I had, I would just trickle content onto them until I felt confident that Facebook was solid. And that is how I would start my strategy if I was selling a tangible item, something I could hold in my hand. Service industry, it's a little bit different. So I would approach that a lot differently. Basically focus more on building content like I do here on this channel. All right, I got to cut it off. I went a lot longer than I anticipated. I hope you got something from this session and my education vlog. I know I did, and I will catch you later. Have a fantastic day. Peace.